Restructuring Financial Identity, the Brian Tracy Framework for Wealth Accumulation. 1. Reconstructing from Zero, the Strategic Reboot. If an individual were hypothetically placed in an unfamiliar city with no financial assets, connections, or employment, could they reattain wealth? Brian Tracy, a leading authority on personal development and success psychology, asserts that the answer is unequivocally yes. Wealth, according to Tracy, is not a product of circumstance, but a predictable consequence of intentional behavior, mental conditioning, and sequential actions. The cornerstone of this argument lies in strategic, measurable planning rooted in financial literacy and discipline. 2. The philosophy of monetary sentience. Tracy frames money as a sentient extension of one's labor and strategic intent. He contends that each dollar saved functions as an economic employee. When managed efficiently, these employees generate additional value autonomously. The principle follows that individuals must recalibrate their emotional relationship with money, viewing it not with ambivalence or disdain, but with strategic detachment and stewardship. Money, like any productive resource, must be deployed with precision and priority. 3. Economic magnification, income versus behavior. Contrary to popular belief, wealth is not inherently tied to high income. Tracy emphasizes that income merely amplifies existing financial habits. A person earning $188,000 annually yet mismanaging funds can be in a more precarious position than one earning significantly less. Effective budgeting, disciplined savings, and continuous investment are therefore the real determinants of financial resilience and growth. Behavioral economics confirms that habit formation, not income expansion, anchors long-term prosperity. 4. The psychology of saving and investment. Tracy insists that savings are not incidental, they are foundational. He posits that financial independence begins with small, consistent allocations. Even modest deposits, $5 or $10, serve as early capital in the machinery of wealth generation. Over time, compounded investments evolve into economic freedom, allowing individuals to decouple time from income. Thus, savings must not be deferred until surplus, they must precede discretionary expenditures and be embedded in one's financial doctrine. 5. Intergenerational belief systems and financial replication. Individuals frequently replicate the economic behaviors and ideologies of their predecessors. Tracy cautions against uncritical adherence to generational financial norms, especially when those norms produced suboptimal outcomes. He urges a conscious detachment from inherited fiscal patterns, advocating for debt elimination and systematic investing as fundamental behavioral reprogramming. Financial growth requires cognitive dissonance from familial limitations, and the will to redefine one's legacy. 6. Momentum, doubt, and the directional imperative. Progress in wealth accumulation is governed more by trajectory than by current position. Tracy argues that once financial direction is consciously chosen, persistent forward motion must be maintained. Doubt, in this schema, is not an analytical safeguard but a regressive force. The psychological toll of hesitation can derail compounding progress. Every financial action should thus be guided by clear intention and future alignment, not reactive uncertainty. 7. Strategic risk and asset activation. Wealth requires the proactive deployment of capital. Tracy underscores that hoarding money for perceived safety is counterproductive. Money must circulate through intelligent investments, real estate, equities, or other appreciating assets, to yield returns. Banks offer not just custodial services but access to tools such as automated savings, credit monitoring, and financial advisory. These instruments must be leveraged to activate capital for growth, rather than idly retaining liquidity. 8. Goal formation, budgeting with purpose. Budgeting acquires functional relevance only when linked to specific financial objectives. According to Tracy, short-term goals such as credit improvement, debt elimination, or emergency fund accumulation provide the clarity needed for sustained financial discipline. Goal-driven budgeting transforms abstract numerics into meaningful behavioral modifications. The process cultivates intentional consumption, which is the precursor to wealth multiplication. 9. Education is capital, the return on financial literacy. Tracy identifies financial illiteracy as the root of most economic dysfunctions. He advises immersive education, whether through digital media, formal coursework, or personal mentorship, as essential to wealth creation. Mastery of concepts such as compounding interest, asset classes, tax optimization, and credit architecture is non-negotiable. The informed individual possesses a distinct advantage in capital preservation and expansion. 10. Cognitive conditioning and wealth consciousness. Tracy highlights that beliefs about money are often imprinted unconsciously during formative years. These internalized scripts, such as money is dangerous or rich people are immoral, can covertly sabotage financial success. Therefore, identifying and reprogramming such beliefs is critical. The deliberate cultivation of a wealth-supportive mindset is not mere affirmation, but a neurological recalibration of one's subconscious financial operating system. 11. Identity, habits, and adaptive failure. Successful individuals normalize failure as an input, not a verdict. Tracy emphasizes that mistakes are experiments yielding data, not indictments of character. Reframing failure as a temporary and necessary iteration toward mastery enables individuals to persist in the face of setbacks. Habitual risk-taking within structured learning environments builds psychological endurance and strategic adaptability, the hallmarks of sustainable wealth building. 12. Emotional regulation, environment, and energy. Tracy asserts that one's emotional and social environments directly influence economic outcomes. High self-esteem, sustained positivity, and association with financially literate peers promote both motivation and opportunity. Conversely, proximity to pessimism or cynicism acts as a contaminant to ambition. Emotional regulation, achieved through conscious input selection, undergirds the energy necessary for long-term goal attainment. 13. Purpose-driven capitalism and altruism. Tracy integrates philanthropy as a critical element of enduring wealth. The act of giving, he argues, sustains the energetic flow of capital and strengthens communal resilience. Donations to medical research, educational access, or housing programs are not just moral acts, they are financial statements of abundance and responsibility. Altruism, when practiced authentically, amplifies prosperity and broadens legacy. 14. Continuous optimization and relentless reinvention. Wealth creation is not static. Tracy posits that true financial vitality requires continuous personal evolution, strategic recalibration, and knowledge acquisition. The willingness to abandon obsolete paradigms and adopt innovative approaches ensures relevance and upward mobility. As such, wealth becomes not merely a numerical measure, but a lifelong project of conscious refinement and expanding contribution.